Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we try to cut through all the noise and focus on what really matters.
That's the goal.
And today, we're diving into something, well, surprisingly critical in romance.
Right.
The kiss. We had listeners ask about this, specifically Lynn Snowden's piece, How to Kiss a Woman.
Right. People were curious. They want to know what makes a kiss, good versus one that just fizzles out.
Yeah.
And this source focuses particularly on women's perspectives, their experiences kissing men.
Exactly. So our mission today isn't like a how-to guide, right?
No, not at all. It's more about exploring the ideas, the really vivid stories in this essay.
And the big takeaway right off the bat is how much power a bad kiss can have. Snowden suggests that a woman might decide about potential intimacy, like really fast, maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's the idea presented. And this is the kicker, a bad kiss can just slam the brakes on that instantly.
A total deal breaker, potentially, even if there was, definite initial attraction.
That's what the essay strongly suggests, that women might be less inclined than men to just brush off a bad kiss, even if they like the person otherwise.
Why is that, according to the author?
Well, the thinking seems to be that a failure to connect on that level in a kiss might signal bigger problems later on in terms of intimacy, compatibility.
Like an early warning system?
Sort of, yeah. Very personal one.
Okay, so this the kiss acting as this sudden test. If it bombs, that's potentially it.
It seems so. The source suggests it's not just, oh, that wasn't great. It can actually change how she sees the person, the whole potential future, physically, emotionally. It goes beyond just the mechanics.
And Snowden uses some pretty memorable stories to back this up, like the fabric softener kiss with Nora.
Oh, yeah. That one's striking because of the contrast, right, between what's happening physically and what's going on in her head.
Totally.
Nora's there, supposedly in this intimate moment, but her mind drifts to laundry detergent, whether she needs more softener.
It's so mundane.
Exactly. And that contrast just perfectly shows how a bad kiss can utterly demolish any feeling of connection. She's completely checked out.
And the crazy part is the guy probably has no idea. He might think it's, like, super passionate.
Right. Which highlights that potential disconnect, doesn't it? Maybe men sometimes miss the cues that it's not working for her.
Yeah, or maybe, as the source implies, women don't always say directly, hey, this isn't great.
Possibly. So sharing these stories later with friends like Nora did becomes the way to kind of process it.
Which leads us to this idea of the litmus test the source talks about. For telling a good kisser from a bad one, it seems to boil down to intent.
Yeah, that's the core distinction presented. The bad kisser, according to this view, sees the kiss almost like a transaction.
Transactional, how so?
Well, their focus is apparently inward, but on the next step. Like, is this working? Is she aroused? What do I do next? The kiss is just a stepping stone.
Part of a carnal quest, as the author puts it.
Right? That vivid phrase. It's about achieving an outcome, not experiencing the moment. Which, can feel pretty impersonal.
So goal-oriented, but the goal isn't the kiss itself.
Precisely. Whereas the good kisser, in this framework, they treat the kiss as, quote, the destination itself. They're in the moment, savoring it, connecting right then and there, as if nothing else exists. The focus is purely on the kiss.
And the interesting thing the author claims is that this approach, just being present in the kiss, is what actually makes someone more open to, well, whatever might come next.
It's a bit counterintuitive, maybe.
Yeah. By not pushing for the next thing, you actually make it more likely.
It seems to come down to authenticity. The idea is that women can often tell if someone is genuinely engaged in the kiss itself or if they're just using it.
That makes sense. That perceived authenticity or lack of it is key.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics. The source lists some common kissing mistakes, and the descriptions are, well, there's something.
They are quite descriptive, yes.
First up, the Harrison Ford face-mashing technique. I think we can picture that one.
Oh, definitely. That really forceful, squashing kind of kiss where it feels like breathing might be optional.
It's optional or impossible.
Yeah.
There's that story about the woman who literally passed out for a second.
Yeah, because her nose was blocked. It's extreme, but it illustrates the point. It's not just uncomfortable. It shows a real lack of awareness of the other person's, basic physical needs.
Right. It's prioritizing some idea of intensity over actual shared enjoyment.
And the irony, as you mentioned, is the person doing it probably thinks it's incredibly passionate.
Yeah, the source jokes the heavy breathing in movies isn't passion, it's just trying to get oxygen back.
Probably true sometimes. It really does stress paying attention to your partner. Passion doesn't need to feel like a fight.
Okay, next pitfall. The Tom Cruise Lizard King tongue. That name alone.
Paints a picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is about using the tongue too aggressively, too soon, like it darts out before the lips have even really met properly. The essay compares it to kissing an anaconda, or like the tongue is on some frantic food search.
Appetizing.
Not really. It just sounds invasive, not inviting, it lacks any subtlety.
Less sensual, more
Hmm.
exploratory surgery.
Something like that just throws off the whole rhythm and feel. The tongue needs finesse, apparently.
And the last one is the Woody Allen Roadrunner peck. This sounds dry.
Very. It's described as these repeated, dry, kind of loud, smacking pecks. No real connection, no sensuality.
Like a nervous tick.
Almost. The source says even if you like the person, you wouldn't really fantasize about that kind of kiss. It's just missing.
Well, everything romantic. Okay, so we've got a good picture of what not to do according to this source. Yeah. Let's flip it. What makes a kiss good?
Right. The essay gives some pointers. First, and maybe the most important, start slow. Gently.
Resist the urge to go full intensity from the start.
Exactly. Let it build. That creates anticipation, makes it more sensual, more connected.
Makes sense. Ease into it. What about the tongue? Done right.
Well, the key word seems to be reciprocal. A give and take, like a, what was the phrase? Saliva-laden minuet.
Okay, poetic.
A bit, but it means both people are involved responding. Not one person just doing their own thing. It's about finding that shared rhythm.
And what about pauses? That was an interesting one. Pausing during the kiss.
Yeah, the idea is that a brief pause while your lips are still touching can actually heighten the sensation.
How so?
It's like a moment of stillness that makes you more aware of the connection, the intimacy, not just the movement. The source suggests trying it somewhere quiet, maybe soft lighting, enhances the effect.
Creates anticipation again, maybe. A nice little moment.
Could be. And then there are the hands. The Daniel Day-Lewis model.
Right. What's the model behavior here?
It's about gentle touch, adding to the experience. Softly touching the face, the hair. It makes it more all-encompassing.
More than just lips.
Exactly. But the big caveat is use hands to caress, to connect, not to like hold someone's head in place or be forceful.
Gentle enhancement, not manipulation. Got it.
Yeah.
And they even mention hairspray isn't the barrier it used to be.
Haha. Yes. A practical note for modern times. Touch the hair, it's probably fine.
Good to know. Okay, last one, and this felt a bit daring. Opening your eyes.
Yeah, this is presented as maybe not for everyone, or maybe not right away. The author admits it can feel awkward.
I can imagine.
But they share a personal story where they did it, saw their partner had too, and it created this unexpected jolt of intimacy, seeing each other mid-kiss.
Described as the sensual equivalent of making love with the lights on. Intense.
Potentially, yeah. More vulnerable, maybe more connected. And there was that funny practical tip, too.
Oh, yeah.
For longer makeout sessions, a quick peek to check your wallet's still there.
Very practical indeed. Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive into how to kiss a woman.
Yeah.
The big picture is kissing isn't trivial.
Not at all. It carries real weight, especially early on.
And intention is huge. Are you in the kiss or just using it to get somewhere else?
That seems to be the crucial difference highlighted.
And while it's not about rigid rules, technique or lack thereof really matters. Sensitivity, awareness, that give and take.
Right. It determines whether it feels connecting or, like that fabric softener, commercial break nor experience.
So the essay really argues for the huge impact of kissing on connection, on those early judgments about intimacy. It gives specific things that can go wrong, but also what can make it work, at least from this perspective.
Exactly. It's a fascinating look through the lens of women's experiences shared in the source at what makes this act resonate or fall completely flat.
So for everyone listening, maybe think about the seemingly simple act differently now. Have you run into any of these good or bad kiss scenarios yourself? What does this perspective maybe tell you about how we communicate connection, often without words? Definitely something to ponder, perhaps, next time you're lingering at a doorway.
Food for thought.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.